Welcome to the Every Day is a New Day podcast and live show. Are you ready? Because this is Rise and Shine. Every day is a new day. The 21-day empowerment series that supports you in cultivating a habit of getting into alignment, mentally and emotionally, standing in your power and being unshakable regardless what's happening around you. Join us live on Facebook at 9 a.m. Pacific time on the Every Day is a New Day show and coaching page, or on Apple Podcasts and beyond for the replay. Let's get to it. All right. And again, welcome to day 17 of Rise and Shine. Every day is a new day. Let us know in the comments where you're connecting with us from. And before we move on to our practice, I do want to give a very warm welcome to today's guest. Welcome, Sherre DeMao.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a delight to be here. It truly is.
It's a delight to have you here. I know I shared with you that we're going to do something a little different today, and I absolutely love that it really resonates with you. And so, yes. And so for everyone that is with us today, whether you're live or on the replay, we are going to focus on aligning our energy through gratitude. Mm-hmm. And so just like we do before we do anything else, let's go ahead and do just that. Bring it all into the present moment. And so wherever you are seated, go ahead and adjust to make sure that you're comfortable. You're sitting firmly wherever you are. I like to place one hand on my heart and I place the other hand on my abdomen or your upper thigh, just connecting with your physical body. And we're going to start by first just doing some slow, deep breathing. So we're going to take 3 slow, deep breaths, exhaling any tension and inhaling the present moment. And let's begin. I'm going to take that last breath now. Wonderful. How does that feel? How does that feel just taking time to be present with your breath?
You know, it feels absolutely amazing, doesn't it? I was reading a book called The Universe Has a Plan, and it talked about your breath is your gift of life. And we take it so for granted. And the beautiful thing about doing something like that is then you're reminded of your power to breathe and to really breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and let go and so many, many things.
I love that you said that, Sherre. Yes. And so on that note, let's go ahead and identify some of those things that we're grateful for. And Sherre, I would love if you would, volley back and forth with me. And so first I want to start off. Okay. First I want to go ahead and start off by saying, I am so grateful. And so for you, the audience, this is an opportunity for you to follow along as well. Mm-hmm. I am so grateful for my ability to breathe. Mm-hmm. And just be present with that as you state what you're grateful for, just feeling into that, like, wow, yes, something that seems so basic, mm-hmm. right? So automatic, we don't even think about it. And yet it is our life force that keeps us here, supporting us and experiencing our day, carrying on throughout our day. I'm so grateful for the ability to breathe. Sherre, how about you?
Gosh, the first thing that came to mind for me was I am so grateful to open my eyes and see.
Yes, I am so grateful to open my eyes and see. I'm gonna take that the next step further. I am so grateful to be able to see color. Yes. I know that not everyone is able to. And so what can you be grateful for in what you are able to see, whether that be with your visual, physical eyes, or maybe even through your mind's eye?
This actually reminds me of one of my favorite quotes that I've loved since I was 13 years old. And it leads into the next thing I'm grateful for. And that saying is, discovery is seeing what everyone is seeing, but thinking what no one else has thought.
Oh, say
And
that again.
okay, discovery is seeing what everyone else is seeing, but thinking what no one else has thought. And
That was
that has
good.
literally driven me my whole life. And so I am so very grateful for not only being able to see, but to also be able to think perhaps in ways that others aren't, that can help others. So that just excites me every single day.
That was so good. And the next thing that brings up for me is I am grateful for my uniqueness.
Mm. And that is spelled Younique.
Yes.
I am so grateful for your uniqueness and my uniqueness and everyone that's watching right now's uniqueness, because that is so powerful. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I have to join you in on that gratitude.
I love it. And thank you for adding, that unique spelling of Younique. Okay, let's see. What's the next gratitude? Go
I
ahead.
I am so grateful for all the people in my life, even those that are here to teach me a lesson.
Let's take that one in. I am grateful for all the people in my life, even those who are here to teach me a lesson. It's really bringing in that awareness that not everyone is going to serve the same purpose or role
Mhm.
in your life, right? And yet, it's still a gift.
It's a gift. A challenge is a gift, especially if you can view it that way.
Yeah.
Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the insight. Thank you for the awareness, whatever it might be.
I love it. I love it. And so through gratitude today, we're aligning our energy with the abundance that
Mhm.
is already present in your world and your life, and really bringing that in through your awareness into your body, feeling that truth of abundance that you already have, and allowing yourself to go, wow, look at the fullness in my life. Look at the fullness of who I am and how amazing my uniqueness is. And we only listed, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 things to be grateful.
Well, and there's so many, and when you really stop and think, even in the simplest of terms, what to be grateful for. Grateful for the chair you're sitting on, grateful for the light that's shining right now, grateful for the rain if it's raining, or grateful for the sun if it's is shining. When you really start to think about, there are so many. And I think especially when you're frustrated or you're feeling like there's nothing to be grateful for, the most powerful thing you can do is stop right there and write down, think through, say out loud at least like 5 things you're grateful for. And it totally changes the way you feel immediately. Immediately. It is so powerful.
I love that. Yes. And so on that note, Sherre, I like to take it that next step further. I mean, we've already said what we're grateful for,
Yeah.
speaking that out loud,
Mhm.
but what could be an affirmation that we could also create to carry forward throughout our day and
Okay.
repeat
Mhm.
to ourselves to further integrate that gratitude and abundance energy?
Oh, um, I think I appreciate all that's around me and all that's in me.
I'm going to write that down. Affirmation. I say that again.
I appreciate all that's around me and all that's within me.
All that's within me. Awesome. So putting that into the chat for those who are with us live on Facebook. And so if that resonates for you, that could be an affirmation for you today. But you want to also just tune in, what resonates with you.
Right.
If not Sherre's affirmation, then what could be your unique affirmation?
Exactly.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you for helping us create an affirmation for today. I appreciate all that's around me and all that's within me. I love it, love it, love it. And just going to take a quick moment to say hello to Kara.
Yeah.
She is with us today saying, love that.
Sarah.
And I love this next comment. She says, you just keep pulling people out of the bag, Kim.
You have a bag of secret tricks and secret inspiration. You do.
and I saw Sherre in there, and I said, Sherre, come on out. Let's connect with Sherre today.
I will.
Exactly. Okay. So Sherre, on that note, I like to also come up with, bringing it into the body even more, if it's not so natural to feel some of the things that we can be aware of and have a sense about, because I understand this. I know it takes practice getting into really feeling into, the truth of who you are, your abundance, all of that. And so what could be a power pose? Just a way that we could, move our body to feel into the affirmation you gave us of, I appreciate all that's around me and all that's within me.
Well, I have to go to the power pose I was going to do anyway. And my power pose is leaning in and just tilting your head a little and being curious, because one of the best ways you can show appreciation is listening and being curious. And that says so much to the person across the table or the people in the room, that you just take that moment to genuinely care and be interested. I can't think of anything that shows appreciation more than that.
That's really beautiful, Sherre. That really is. I love that. And I love that you actually, the listening, of course, is so important and key. And we all know how good it feels to feel like we're seen and heard. Someone's taking time to listen to us. But I love that you added the curiosity piece.
Well, because I think with curiosity, you ask questions, you get more information, which validates that you're actually listening, that you're actually paying attention, that you're actually wanting to delve deeper, or you're wanting to understand more, or you're just like, wow, that's cool. Tell me more. Can you tell me more about that? And curiosity, I'm a big Leonardo da Vinci fan too. So, and curiosity was one of his 7 key skills of, brain power. So,
oh, I like that. I didn't know that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so that is a fantastic power pose. And if you haven't already done that, just what does that feel like if you just go ahead and just do that? Just lean into that.
Lean in and then just tilt your head, whichever way. To just show, curious. Think of a dog that's thinking, right?
Yeah.
Kind of tilt their head. Or a squirrel, they're kind of tilting. I wonder what's going on over there. That's the kind of tilt. It's not a discerning kind of inquisitive tilt. No, you don't want to do that. It's a smiling, that's interesting. I want to know more.
I love it. And so Keith Leon is saying, yes. And so what is your power pose for today? What's really going to support you in feeling into, what feels right, your alignment today? And so, okay, so I like to take it that next step further. And we all eat, our bodies require that we eat to be nourishing ourselves. And so what food for you really feels good when you eat it? When I ask this question, not necessarily focusing on all the comfort foods, which are amazing and our taste buds love, right? But those foods that our body is either subtly or maybe loudly saying, ooh, I love that. Give me more of that.
Well, I love to try to turn things that might not be healthy into healthy. And so I do a lot of different type of nut breads. And one of my favorites and one of my family's favorites is banana blueberry bread. And it's just like heaven in your mouth, because you take those bites and then you get that burst of blueberries. And then I can't waste anything. So, I buy these bunches of bananas, and then you have bananas that are getting ripe. And so I have all kinds of ways to create awesome things out of these bananas. And one of my favorites was actually one my daughter, Amaria, told me, and that is you freeze the bananas and then you peel them and then you blend them and they turn into this creamy, fabulous, like ice cream, but you're not adding anything. It's just the banana. And
Okay.
then you can, and then I'll throw blueberries or dark chocolate chips. Oh my gosh, that's heaven. That's just heaven. And it's good for you. You know, the greatest thing that happened in my life is when they said dark chocolate was good for you. I was just like, that was just like, yes.
Oh, okay, this sounds amazing. So I just want to be clear. So you're freezing a
Yeah.
whole unpeeled banana?
Yes, if you freeze the whole unpeeled banana, you need to keep it peeled so it doesn't discolor. And
Okay.
so then once it's frozen, you peel the bananas and then you just, break them up and throw them in the blender and they will literally turn into this creamy, wonderful. It's like ice cream. It's like a custard. It tastes so good. And then throw in some dark chocolate chips or throw in some frozen blueberries or just whatever you feel like throwing in with it. And it's just a fabulous way to get a great dessert, totally healthy. So
Oh, I love so I peel bananas, cut them up and freeze them, and I use slices in a smoothie. So I know how
well,
good that is.
yeah. Exactly.
I,
Exactly.
but I love what you just added for us. I've never even thought to doing that. And so that sounds almost like a kind of like a frozen banana custard
It
or
totally has that custard feel to it. It totally does. And it's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So,
that that is amazing. And Keith clearly understands this. He says a machine for that banana process is called Yo Nanas. Oh,
yo,
okay.
wonderful. I love that. And yes, it creates ice cream from frozen fruit, which is fabulous, right?
That is awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, and Keith is also saying veggies. He loves veggies.
Me
That's
too. Me
awesome.
too. When I need a crunch, I go for the vegetable. I go for the carrots or, the cucumber or the zucchini. If I have that crunching, now mind you, I still like my potato chips, but I'm much better. But it's really about the sensation of the eating, right? So,
Yeah.
I'm actually craving crunch versus the actual something like a potato chip. It's real easy to trade it out and still get that satisfaction of crunching.
Well, and I know it can take practice to go, ooh, okay, instead of the chips, I'm going to choose, the veggie instead. The added bonus I like, and I have to practice this myself, is like, okay, my taste buds are really wanting that potato chip, but oh my
Right.
goodness, I'm going to feel so good about myself after I choose the carrot.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And then, if you like bake, like you peel and bake, and then you can make like zucchini chips, or you can make, all these different types of chips that are actually healthy, then okay, then you can kind of get the best of both worlds, and a little salt might not be so bad.
Exactly. Oh, okay. I'm feeling some creativity, vegetable ideas coming
Totally,
up.
totally.
Okay, Sherre, so I definitely want to ask you more questions. I know you have more to share with us, but before we delve into some of that, will let me share with the audience a tiny bit about you, and then I would love for you to share with us more about what you do. So today's guest, Sherre DeMao, is a strategy maestro, and you can learn more about her by going to sherredemao.com, and I'm going to spell that. It's SHERRED as in dog, EM as in Mary, AO.com. And okay, with that, Sherre, will you tell us more about what you do?
What I do is, I alluded to it a little while ago. I love to help people see what they're not seeing and then think what they're not thinking. And my specialty is working with entrepreneurial businesses. And I love to help, entrepreneurship is all about being different and being excelling in a way that nobody else is excelling. But it's very easy to get kind of stuck. Or to feel like you have to be like everybody else because everybody else is doing it this way, especially when you're in a specific industry. Well, everybody's doing it this way, so I guess I need to do it this way too. Well, my first answer is always, well, okay, remember when your mom was talking to you and they asked if Johnny went over the cliff, would you go over the cliff too? And
Right.
okay, so it's the same thing. And so how can we see what everyone is seeing, but think like no one else is thinking? Think like the industry's not thinking like especially your competitors aren't thinking, and then just embrace it and go with it and own it. And so that's what's so exciting about what I do.
That is very exciting. I love that. That is such a sense of freedom comes
Yeah.
through in knowing that you can do things your own way.
Yes, yes, yes. And you can actually set a new standard that way. You can actually get people to think, why did we do it that way all that time?
Right. Right.
Did it really work better? No, it didn't.
What do you think? You know, what's coming up for me as we talk about this is that sense of being courageous enough to do
Yes.
things your own way. What comes up for you when in that when
Well,
I say that?
courage is definitely a perfect word for that, because you have to be willing to be different or do it differently, and have that confidence and belief in what that end result. So that outcome, that end result, what you're ultimately trying to do, and this is something that's really huge for me, is the whole purpose-based focus, having a true purpose, not a capability statement, not but a true mission and purpose that goes so far beyond what you're offering and goes into the difference you're making or the outcome that's going to have an incredible effect. And when you do that, then that gives you courage, because you can see, one of my favorite other affirmations is opportunities abound. Simply think beyond what you see and vision beyond what you think. Okay, so opportunities abound. Simply think beyond what you see and vision beyond what you think. And so when you have a powerful purpose, you can actually think beyond what you see. You can actually vision beyond what you think, because you are so driven by this powerful purpose, whether it's for you as a person or whether it's for the company that I'm working with. And I really encourage everyone in a company, from the owner all the way to everybody working there. What is your purpose as it relates to your job? What is your purpose as it relates to your life? Guess what? They're going to be the same. If you really know what the reason, your why for being here, we all have a reason for being here. I believe that from the deepest heart of my soul. And how powerful is that when we can own that and step forward with it?
I absolutely love that. I completely agree. I believe that everybody has a purpose. And what's really coming up for me is I know a lot of people don't either feel that or don't know how to
Right.
feel or and connect to their purpose. And what's really, of course, for me coming up right now is that's also how important it is to align and be present
Yes,
with your energy,
absolutely. Yeah.
right?
Yes, it's so important, because when you are taking that time to be still and to truly know what's important to you, your purpose is driven by your core values. Your core values and what is most important to you speaks very loudly and clearly to you in so many different ways. I heard something else that in some of my reading, that it's okay to dislike. And now again, disliking isn't about judgment. Disliking is about discernment. And I thought that was a really good differentiation. Okay. So disliking is just telling you what is not in alignment with your values. And so it only becomes judgment when you impose it on other people, expecting them to be the way you are. And we're all unique. We just talked about that. We all have unique. And our values are going to, orchestrate in very different ways. Some are going to be shared and some are going to be different. And that's also what makes it so awesome to be around other people. So
That to me, that is also so timely to even acknowledge that it's okay.
yeah, especially right now.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So at the timing of this recording, because we will have people also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and
Yeah.
Podbean and YouTube also hearing this conversation. But right now, at the timing of this, we are all experiencing coronavirus, COVID-19, the pandemic,
Mhm.
and so many things are coming up to really get clear on
Yeah.
what do we like, what do we not what do we not like, and how can we discern where might it be really beneficial to actively discern and say, you know what, I'm going to make different choices right now. This
Right.
thing
Right.
over here is not in alignment with me.
Right, right, right. And I think, knowing what is true and right for you is very important, but it's also, again, it's also what's true and right for everyone around you. It can't, if anything, we're learning more than ever before. We're all being affected, but we're all being affected so very differently. And so we can't even make that assumption. I loved the analogy that was made that we're all in a storm, but we have different types of boats.
I
And we
heard that too.
and yeah, and I just think that is such a great reality and analogy, because we have to be aware, and gratitude is looking very, very differently for a lot of different people right now. So that's why I love that we're talking about that, you know. And of course, I also love we're actually doing this on Earth Day, which is very cool, because something that has been positive about all this craziness is the, you know, clearer air and being able to see a horizon that wasn't able to be seen before, and that there's kind of wow in that. There's a little bit of wow in the adversity. Some really amazing things have come to light. So
I agree. It's
yeah.
huge. Wow. It's like, whoa, amazing when you realize for how long has it been that you weren't able to see a clear horizon, right? Or the nature that was just beyond the smog. And
Well, and one of the most romantic places in the world, Venice, and having those clear canals, and imagining being able to witness that. So, and just making it all the more magical in a way.
absolutely. I love it. So, Sherre, we could certainly, of course, carry this conversation further and further. But before we get too far down, I want to really ask you to show us more about you by doing a little show and tell.
Okay, I'm excited about this.
Okay, yeah, please show us something that tells us more about you and what's important to you.
Okay, this is my bluebird of happiness. And
Oh.
I was given this was given to me by my Granny P when I was 8 years old. She gave it to me and my brother and my sister. We all got them at 8 years old. You know, she always said that the bluebird of happiness was something you look at to, again, remind you of the happiness around you and the happiness within you whenever you're sad or whenever you're frustrated. And she also said, anytime you see a bluebird, man, something really cool is going to happen. And it's amazing how that works. It's just so cool. And I literally see this every morning. It's right next to my coffee maker in the kitchen so that I can see it and be reminded every single morning. And I actually want to do this with my granddarlings and my grandstuds whenever I have them. I just have granddarlings right now. And so I actually found this exact glass bird that my grandmother gave me all these years ago. And so my granddarlings and all my grandchildren are going to get this when they turn 8 years old.
Oh.
So I'll get to carry Granny P's legacy forward. I actually dedicated my first book to her because she was such an amazing, wise woman. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. I absolutely love that. Gosh, that like makes me a little emotional because I have a little bird thing that I hang, and it reminds me of someone that I love as well. So
It's very special. Bluebirds, redbirds, they're just very special meanings. So
that's awesome.
I have them all over the place, bluebirds and redbirds.
Well, I'm going to expand on today's message by pulling a couple of cards. I did not pre-pull a card today. Were you going to say something? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh. So we're going to go ahead and pull a self-love card. That's how I call it. How to love yourself card.
Love it.
And let's see what message wants to come through for everybody who views or hears today's conversation. And I love when they pop out. You know, that's the one for the day.
Yes, of course.
And this one feels like the one. It just kind of stayed in my hand. So this one says, I rejoice in my creative energy.
Oh, that's so fabulous.
And the back of it, yeah, and the back of it says, fun, uplifting ideas flow through my consciousness, and I follow through on the ideas received, bringing them into full manifestation.
Oh, I love that. That's so perfect with the, thinking beyond what you see and vision beyond what you think. Embrace that idea and go for it. Totally. I love that.
You gave us so many awesome quotes today, Sherre. I'm going to have to go back and write those all down. What was also fun today is before we went live, I said, you know what, Sherre, I really want to focus on gratitude today. And she said, oh my gosh, Kim, that's awesome because I actually have my gratitude journal right here.
It's right here. And I have a really great quick story I'll share around that. Is I've been journaling for years. I've been journaling since I was a child. And so I have volumes and volumes of these. But I went through a period of my life where my journals became, bitching sessions. I just was bitching about this and complaining about that. And I started to look at these journals that I had, and I was like, wow, do I really want my children to read nothing but complaining, complaining, complaining? So I decided at that point I would never have a journal that wasn't focused on gratitude. So I went to a restaurant. It was the middle of the week, and I went to the restaurant, and I was going to say goodbye to the bitching once and for all. So I had two journals. I had my new journal that was going to focus on all the good and awesome stuff, and I was going to get any bitching out right then and there. And then I was literally going to destroy any bitching journal and get rid of it. Well, so I told the restaurateur to put me in the corner somewhere, and it was this old farmhouse with all these really cool rooms. It was just a really cool restaurant, and so I got there like 6 o'clock. It's about 9 o'clock, and I'm on like the fourth course, and I won't tell you how many glasses of wine, and I'm kind of getting dessert, and the maitre d' says, "Do you mind if we sit somebody else in the room?" And I look up because I was just feverishly writing between these two journals, and I realized that they had filled the entire restaurant and left the room I was in empty. And I go, "My goodness, no, you're in business. Go ahead." Well, about 5 years later, I got to know the chef. He didn't know me at this time, and he was at a fundraiser, and I shared the story, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, we thought you were a food critic."
Oh, that is funny.
Funny.
Yes.
And I'm like, "Well, why wouldn't you want me to see people enjoying your food then?" And it was just the most hilarious realization. But it was a very, very important night for me because I let go. And from that point forward, this was, goodness, probably 16 years ago, 17 years ago, I do nothing but gratitude journals. And I even have a special way to write it's a TY for thank you and a heart with before I say what I'm thankful for. So it's a thank you with a heart, a little heart shape, and then I just write whatever it is. So
I love that. Well, okay, and so that is an awesome story to share, and I also hear the gift within that is, even though, I mean, they clearly they did, they thought you were there for one reason, you were there for another, but the gift is you had all that space to really think and process.
It was amazing. It was such an amazing therapy. I got to enjoy a beautiful place I love to go. I was by myself. I got to let go of what was no longer serving me. I got to embrace what I knew would serve me from that point forward. And it's a powerful exercise. I've recommended it to a lot of people, and it's been very helpful to them.
Okay, so on that note, earlier I was pulling cards again through one other deck, through Dr. Wayne Dyer's Inner Peace card deck, and there's one more card here I want to share before we ask Sherre our final question. And that card is, and I think this is fitting with what you were just sharing with us, maybe not completely, but anyway, the front says, "I forgive myself and then move on."
Oh, that's so perfect. Yes.
Is it? Yeah. The back says, "You can sit there forever lamenting about how bad you've been, feeling guilty until you die, and not one tiny slice of that guilt will do anything to change anything in the past."
Oh, so true. No, that's so appropriate, because when I was actually going through that, getting rid of the journal that was no longer serving me, I also had to I was a little annoyed at myself. I was a little disappointed in myself that I allowed, because I've always been very positive. And then I was reading things that I was focusing on what wasn't positive. And I was disappointed in myself. And by going through that, I let go of being disappointed in myself, because this is how I knew I wanted to be and how I knew I was. And I was just bringing that back into my reality. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that's really helpful for anybody right now who's in that process of saying, yes, I want to discern more. I want to release. But they're feeling that attachment to, oh no, it's maybe feeling any shame, or just finding it challenging to release and forgive themselves for anything they've hung on to. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. It's okay to release. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So we are near the end of our show, and I guess two questions. Sherre, will you tell everyone again, where can they connect with you beyond today's show if they'd like to connect with you?
Oh, absolutely. They can connect with me, two different websites. Sherre DeMao, you mentioned before, sherredemao.com, and then Biz Growth Inc., BizGrowthinc.com are two ways you can reach out to me. And then, of course, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those good places as well.
Awesome. And before we go, will you, this is totally optional, but would you be open to singing a song with the words rise and shine in it?
I will, and okay, forgive me about the singing part, but because it was Earth Day, I'm going to plagiarize too.
Okay.
Because it's Earth Day, it made me think. I used to, with the girls, I would sing a couple of different things to get them up. And the one is the Rise and Shine song. You know, it's rise and shine and give earth your glory, glory, changing the words a little.
I love it.
Rise and shine and give earth your glory, glory, rise and shine because each day is a new day. Children of this world. So,
I love it. And thank you. You're the first person to sing that song. And that has been coming up for me lately too.
oh,
So yeah.
you know, I wasn't going to be totally creative. I was just going to be slightly creative with that one.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for being creative and sharing your uniqueness here today. You are so inspiring. Everything you were talking about today, I find you so inspiring, and I'm really grateful that of course, as Kara mentioned, I pulled you out of the bag, and
well, and I am so privileged and grateful to be here. It's just such a cool world we're in when we can be connected in ways we never expected. And then be touched from that point forward forever, right? So I'm honored to be a part of this. I love the whole rise and shine, and what you represent. So you inspire me too. So it's totally mutual.
thank you, Sherre. I appreciate that. And I just want to go ahead and remind everyone the wonderful affirmation that Sherre gave us today, if you don't already have one that resonates for you, was I appreciate all that's around me and all that's within me. And if gratitude is something you would like to bring more into your awareness so you can be in that space of feeling so full, so abundant, knowing how much is there to support you and really, support you in knowing how amazing you are too, right? Your ability to breathe and see and vision, all of that, then that can be an affirmation to really support you in that today. And it's your birthright to feel gratitude for what you do have, regardless of what's going on around you or anybody else's experience as well. It's okay for you to be uniquely you and have your experience. And with that said, remember that every day is a new day. Wherever you were yesterday does not have to be where you are today. And wherever you are today does not have to be where you are tomorrow. And that's the beauty of your choice to align so that you can ultimately rise and shine your unique light. I love it, love it, love it. And one final note. Today, if you are with us live on Facebook on the Every Day is a New Day show and coaching page, we do have a very special encore performance of Keith Leon, and we're going to be talking about angels, angels, angels. We're going to hear his. Yeah, oh my gosh, Sherre, it's going to be so awesome. He's going to play live music. We're going to pull angel cards. We're going to be answering angel questions if you have them. And it's just going to be a beautiful space to come and rest, but also have fun and be in the flow of what feels peaceful and just so beautiful and wonderful. So I invite you to join us for that. That's today, April 22nd, 2020 at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern here on Facebook, the Every Day is a New Day show and coaching page. I look forward to seeing you here for that. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for day 18 of Rise and Shine with another amazing guest. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody. And thank you, Sherre.
You're welcome. Thank you.